Hello, I'm Bill Metcalf, your host for this revealing interview with Phillip Rowley, CEO of AOL Europe. As president of AOL Europe since September 2002, Rowley has overseen the company's strong operational and financial performance during the past several years as AOL Europe moved from losing $600 million a year in 2001 to profitability in 2003. Some of that profitability came through projects led by John Core of Close Quarter Limited. In this interview, I challenged Phillip to share with us how three of these projects not only increased profitability for AOL Europe, but also align themselves with Rowley's core management principles that have fueled this dramatic turnaround for his company. Let's listen in. So Phillip, can you introduce yourself? Tell our listeners who you are and what you do.
Yes, I'm Phillip Rowley and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of AOL Europe, which covers three primary countries, UK, France and Germany.
So what attracted you to working with AOL Europe?
At the time that I joined, the company was losing a bit over $600 million. But I did believe that that was an investment phase and that the future of AOL was bright, and I think it's proved to be so.
So he's worked on this project with you for the CDs, and I think the next thing he worked on had to do with reducing narrowband costs in AOL France. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that worked?
Yes, without going into the technical details, at that stage of our network design, the costs were driven by peak usage because you had to plan for peak. And so John did an analysis that demonstrated that there were a small number of customers who, because they were effectively online all the time, were extremely expensive but therefore value destructive. And what he worked on was some algorithms that indicated how, if we could move those people off peak and onto broadband, in other words, to migrate them, that would be a substantial win. And in fact, it generally would be a win for the customer, which is very important for us too, because customers who are on all the time are better suited by having a broadband connection than a narrowband connection.
So let me see if I summarize this right. So you've got a huge number of people using dial-up connections, but much of your demand is actually created by power users who are on there who obviously would be much happier on broadband. And because the economics of broadband work out more effectively for you by shifting them off of the narrowband and onto broadband, they get better service and you reduce your costs, therefore increasing your value.
That's exactly right.
Is that a good summary?
Yeah. And then what John did was effectively to work through the IT processes that allowed our call center agents to recognize which were those customers when they called in, and were able to either migrate them or frankly let them go, because sometimes, generally in the past, if a customer called in and said, I want to leave, we would incent them to stay. If you have a customer who is already value destructive that calls in, but would be better on broadband, then the people who were doing the save of the members were able to say, no, look, have you thought about going to broadband? And in fact, I can make you a great broadband offer. And if the customer said, no, I really want to go, then you say, well, I'm sorry you're leaving us, but of course. And we're better off having those value-destructive customers leave than stay, whereas in the past we might have incented value-destructive customers to stay with us. I've been working with John now since, I think, 1999, so it's been 6 years, and it's been a great journey. I have often told my bosses that he's to use an American sporting term, the most valuable player, because the value he brings can be very substantial in terms of what we do.